American Family Radio, Financial Issues. My name's Dan Celia. It's great to be here. Hey, folks, the Dow's going to open in 10 minutes. Right now, it's looking like negative territory, so I'll let you know what that is as soon as it opens. Not a lot of news coming out of the investment world at all. There's not a lot of economic news. You know, everything is still going to be focused on Bernanke and homes and mortgages. That's about it right now. So we'll see what next week brings. But I think one of the things that all this is doing, as I said yesterday, that I hoped it would do, is a little touch of reality. And when I listen to what the Democrats are saying about Jay Carney in particular, economic calamity, if the country's, if we see another recession and the House is threatening that. Let me tell you exactly what we need here in this country, folks. Nobody wants to hear it, and I don't want to hear it myself, to be honest with you. But what we need is we need an economy that will, at some point in time, allow the chips to fall where they will, where major corporations, small businesses, and mid-sized companies, governments, municipalities, local governments get in trouble. In other words, if they've made poor choices, if they've made bad decisions, if they are looking or dependent upon the government to bail them out, the government can't bail them out. We got to get back to removing this moral hazard that we've created, that just go ahead and do whatever you want, the government will bail you out. We have got to allow the economy to work out the economy. The government needs to get out of the way. The government needs only to encourage the private sector with tax reform and incentives. The government needs, if they want to step up spending, it ought to be in infrastructure projects only those projects that are started. And there cannot be an infrastructure bill has to be 1.5 pages long. It can't be 300 pages so that we get every turtle tunnel under every highway in the project. It is simply an infrastructure bill that is going to encourage the private sector to gear up and hire and get to work. There are a lot of things the government can do to incentivize the private sector and to create an environment by which the private sector is able, willing, and starting to desire to get back to work instead of hoarding $3 trillion and manipulating balance sheets with buybacks of stock and cheap and free money in order to look like returns are good when we have consumers that are going to lose their ability altogether to spend any discretionary income on things they don't need. And we're getting very close to that when we've seen the median income of families going down. This is not a hard problem to fix, but it's going to take a little bit more pain in order to fix it. And I think that the government, the politicians better stop worrying about getting reelected and start worrying about our children. Let me go to Ken. Ken calling us from Ohio. Hey, Ken.
Hi, how are you doing, Dan?
I'm good.
God bless your ministry. I've been a member or a partner with you for 3 years now, and so I've been following your program for quite a while. And just about 3 weeks ago, if I recall correctly, you sent out a notice to the members about selling because of conditions in the market, and I understand that we're in a stagnant economy. And I'm very conservative. I've been through the last three. I'm one of those baby boomers who you mentioned frequently, who have been hit three times. And so I'm pretty conservative now. And so I actually, I sold everything almost. Probably about 95% of my portfolio is in cash. I've got about $8,000 approximately in 401k for business that I have to have in some kind of investment. So that's actually in the market. In equities. But would you say it's okay for me to just hold off in cash while we wait for the correction?
How old are you, Ken?
I am 51.
Well, here's the thing, Ken. I and you've heard me say this, and I would like to see you take some positions in the market. I mean, I know where you're coming from. I get it 100%. And of this, this preservation of principle mindset, which is a good one. We all need some of that. But, you've got 15 years. And I think that there are a few individual stocks, the ConocoPhillips of the world, the Valeros, the couple of the, Williams Partners, a pipeline company, some maybe some natural gas. But I think that, they're going. Are they going to pull back? Yes, but I'd like to see you have establish a couple of positions. I have no problem with a mutual fund. If you wanted to go to Timothy and put a little money in the Israel fund, is one that I like there. Even their midterm growth fund. And then do it on a regular basis. So let's just say you've got, this 15 or 20% that you're going to commit back into the market. Do it gradually. Do it over time, over the next 6 months. But establish some positions with a couple of funds or a couple stocks. And, of course, the only funds that I would use is Timothy. And keep putting in dollar cost average in. And I think that you'll do fine if you can continue to do that over you do that over the next 6 to 12 months. And of course, when the correction happens, maybe, pick that up a little bit, get a little bit more into those established positions that you already have. And I think that would be a good strategy. I don't want to see you totally out. I don't want to see anybody totally out. I'd like to see, so to me, super conservative like you and I, Ken, that are looking at preservation of what we have. I'm a fair amount. Well, I'm older than you, but at the same time, I too have been through those three, and I don't want to be through that, but I always want to maintain some equity positions that are a little bit of a hedge for the idea that this correction might take another 2 years. Bernanke seems like the Fed is not going to be in any hurry to stop quantitative easing. I don't think that quantitative easing, I think it's almost run its course, but I think it might maintain some stability in equities until the inflation hits. So I think you need to have a little, and I would suggest that your heaviest thing should be oil. And again, I like as I think about that Israel fund, I think because of oil, that Israel is going to do very, very well as an economy if God preserves them and they stay in existence. I think they're going to do very well over the next 3 or 4 years, and their economy's already strong. They have a strong economy. But I believe, they don't say this, they don't believe it, but I believe that in the next 2 to 3 years, Israel is going to be a net exporter of natural gas and doing very well as a result of it. I think it's just a matter of time before there's an oil strike offshore. And when that happens, they will very quickly become net exporters of oil. They're a small country. They just don't need all that they can produce. So they're going to be very, very cash strong country, and I think it's a good one to have a little investment in. So that's what I think you ought to do, Ken. I think I'd feel better if you had a little bit. Do you wait? Look, I think that if you waited, it wouldn't break my heart. I think that the correction or the pullback could be a little bit sooner than we think. The Dow opened negative again this morning. It's down slightly. It just went up, by the way. It's up 7 right now. But the Dow, we're going to see this kind of reality check coming in. So maybe things have peaked. Were a war or a interruption of oil or a geopolitical event away from seeing a correction as a result of that. The markets are not going to need much of an excuse to correct. That is for sure. So if you wanted to wait it out to the end of the year and see what that brings, that would be fine too. But at some point in time, I want you to establish, 3 or 4 positions and start dollar cost averaging into those positions so you get about 20% or so invested.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, Dan. And
all right, Ken.
Keep an eye on the buy list and keep an eye on your continuing notices and take a look at what I need to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken, and I appreciate your partnership, brother. It means a lot to the ministry, and it has been a blessing to the ministry. As I think of, for the first time since the existence of this ministry, I did something I've never done. I sent out a little email to all my newsletter recipients and partners, and this is the end of my year, the end of this month, and we're a little short, and I asked, and a little short, not because I've added personnel or there's been pay increases or anything like that, just a little short because giving has been down, and I understand that. But, I'm not concerned. I know God will raise it up, and He has. And it's not the contributions that we got and the partnerships that we got this month, and I'm sure we'll still get, that was encouraging. It wasn't the financial resources. It was the encouraging notes that I got. Oh, my word. Very humbling, and I thank you for that, Ken. Let me go to Gerald. Gerald calling us from Texas. Hey, Gerald.
Hey, how you doing this morning, Dan? Nice to hear you. Listen to your show a lot. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And also, I'm looking forward to seeing you in our hometown here just a few days. Oh,
good. You're up there in Tyler or over there?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Good. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Okay, I'm gonna be there.
Good. What's your question, Gerald?
I want to know what you thought about the Iraqi dinar.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, Gerald. There are, as you already know, I'm sure, there are a number of people investing in that and looking for this theory that, which I won't say is impossible. I'm just going to say it's very, very unlikely. The theory being, of course, that Iraq's government is going to get their act together. They are going to formalize a stable government. With that, they don't have to, but they could reestablish their currency and reset their currency. And by doing that, they would issue new currency. So, for those listening, the theory is that they're going to reissue a dollar for dollar. So you have an old dollar, the old currency, they're going to give you a new dollar. The new dollar is going to be worth about $1 of American money. The old dollar, the one that you can buy now for a couple pennies, is not worth much. Theory being that you're going to get $1 for dollar and you're going to make millions of dollars. That is not going to happen, in my opinion. I think it's extremely unlikely. I think if they do it, it's going to immediately be rated as junk. They're not going to have any full faith and credit in their economy. Some have written me and say, well, it's going to happen because at one time the Iraqi dollar was valued over the dollar. That is true. What everybody seems to forget is the incredible run of printing presses that the Iraqi dollar has gone through. So, our dollar would be worth 5 of a Japanese yen had we not run the printing presses in the last 10 years. So everybody seems to forget that. So huge difference today than what was even 5 years ago compared to how much currency is out there. So it's not going to happen. If they do reset their currency, they will reissue new currency for the old, but for 100 of your old, you'll get one of the new or something to that effect, in my opinion, if at all. This may happen shortly. It may not happen ever. It may happen in the next 10 years. So it'll be, they have printed so much money. There's so much currency out there. They have little choice, I think, if they do establish a government that is worth anything, but to reset the currency and start over again because of so much currency that's out there. But they're not going to put the same amount of currency out there. That is for certain. And there's going to be a bit of a reverse split. That's just my opinion. So, if you've got $500 that you can afford to lose and you want to take the chance on it, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But because I could be wrong. I just don't think I am on that. So, hope that helps you a little bit, Gerald.
All right.
And I sure appreciate your call. Thank you, Gerald. Let me go to Tracy in Illinois. Hey, Tracy.
Yes.
By the way,
Dan.
folks, 866-300-9298. Hi, Tracy.
Hello, Dan. I really do appreciate all that you do. I have a real quick question.
Okay.
I'm 27 years old. I'll be 28 in December. I have $15,000 in a money market account, and I did that after listening to your show. It was sitting on a CD, and I just felt that I wasn't getting what I needed to get out of it from a CD, so I rolled it over or made it into the money market account. I'm not using it right now to live off of, and I don't really plan on using it for the next few or 10 years down the road, but I do have two sons that I definitely need to start saving for their college, and I'm just not sure what I should be doing. That 15 is sitting, and it's growing, and I'm not using it, so should I split it into two separate money market accounts and gain some interest off of it, or should I open Bright Start? Illinois has a Bright Start college fund. I've seen some things I don't really like about it. It fluctuates. I just don't really know what I need to do.
Yeah, that's a great question, Tracy. Here's the thing. I mean, I think one of the things, do you have a retirement plan at work, Tracy?
Well, I am just a first-year teacher, so
okay.
I'm new to this whole retirement business. So.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to answer you. I'll leave you on hold, Tracy, in case you have a comment or what I'm going to say. I'm coming up to the break, but when we get back, I'll answer your question and give you some ideas and thoughts about what to do with that $15,000. So hang in there, Tracy. I appreciate your call, and we're going to be right back to you after this break. You're listening to American Family Radio Network. My name's Dan Celia. Financial Issues is the program. We're going to be right back after this.